now what was interesting is looking at this final. The coach is talking about the rest time, some too much rest time maybe for Chipa, and I'm going to use this as a way to kind of segue into the TS Galaxy and Sundowns game, because that's same thing that Owen Degama was saying, that yeah, it's cool to have all this time for tactics and for people to come back from injury, but not having that regular game time is actually. And he says, I can't get a friendly. Everyone's busy. All the lower division teams are playing. All the guys in my division can't play because they're protecting themselves for match day.
Yeah.
So he actually worked against him in this instance, whereas a busy Sundowns, because of the irregularity, the games that are giving Ukift, Peter more and more time to gel, those are happening. So we actually found that in this instance, that they were battle ready and battle hardened, for this game on Mamelodi Sundowns in a sense.
It's good to have the break when you have your key players injured. It's bad to have the break if now you're not going to get games, because now you fall into the rustiness, the game tempo changes, also the mind shift, also the mental side of the players, because now when you have a longer rest, your fitness goes down.
Right.
So now you need to have a match fitness. Yes, I know those players are fit, but now there's a match fitness. So now when that goes out of the window, it's good for other teams when they are having fringe players that are injured to get them to prepare them and get ready for the next match. But if you if you stay longer out, then you're gonna have problem when you have to come to the game. It showed with the TX Galaxy when they played Sundowns. Yes, Sundowns was more of a team that has played more games back to back. They didn't have much time to rest. But again, TX Galaxy had more time to rest, which is they tried to frustrate Sundowns by sitting back. They didn't want to go up because they wanted to see what would be the reply to Sundowns. What would Sundowns do? But Sundowns struggled to the most of the part of the game. And then eventually what happened was they tried, TX Galaxy got frustrated, and then they started pushing up. When the introduction of Shaolide, when he came in, the number 9 that they've put is what they wanted, because they wanted space behind Sundowns. They wanted space behind TX Galaxy.
Right.
That's how they profited from the goal. So when a team gets pushed up forward, yes, you're going to have more energy, and the other team, you're going to rely that they have matches back to back. But again, don't forget, Sundowns has got a lot of ammunition in them. They've got a lot of players that they can throw in. This is an opportunity for those players to come in. When a player is injured, another one comes in. Players injured, another one comes in. Now we're starting to see players on the window, in the shopping window, to say, hey, I want to start next week. Coach, pick me. I want to start next week. Rather than now you're going to be on the layoff, there's another player. There's that continuation now with Sundowns.
Okay, so it's running like a well-oiled machine in your mind.
Yeah.
As far as what they have.
Look, in coaching, there's what we call periodization.
Yes.
You're going to have those breaks. It's how you manage your players. It's very crucial. Sometimes you'll find some coaches, when there's a break, they increase the intensity of training, and then they tell their players more. On training, they're having more 11 versus 11 instead of having, a few games just to keep them, active and ready. And also, it demands that you as a coach, you should understand your individual players. There are players, when they're given an off, they'll rest their body so that when it's time for training or competitiveness, they are ready. Then there are those who are a little bit, playful with their rest time. They'll do funny things that affect their fitness. So how you as a coach, you understand each and every individual is different, because you give an off to the whole squad. Many may not rest, many may rest.
Right.
So if a player is fully rested, like Sosibo will not go anywhere, it would be very disciplined. So his fitness will still be the same.
Right.
And then other players are taking one for the road, one glass of beer, and then like that, and then their levels are down. But you should be able to understand your own players. Once you do that, this will not be an issue, because a competitive team has an advantage even when they're playing week in, week out. It's not about resting or playing more games. If Sundowns is playing, actually they have an advantage because they're in motion.
Yes.
So they're just going to manage them. Come training session, just have gym regeneration, play tennis, play basketball.
Yeah.
Some of these other coaches will not guarantee that. They'll make these players run
and just run and just run.
To be working on their body.
I know you got a quick dash, but sometimes these technocrats will use big words, periodization, and this is good, good words, but just a simple one. when it talks periodization, Sereno had been out for the last 3 matches, recovering from an injury.
Right.
But they know that they're going to a tougher game against Al Ahly in the CAF Champions League.
Right.
You know, so what do? They bring in Sereno for the last 16 minutes.
Of each game.
Give them stronger legs so that when they get to Al Ahly, they can even manage to have him in the starting lineup.
For sure.
For
That
the
is
first 45,
So they save him for the bigger journey,
but
bigger jobs ahead.
save him,
Preparing
but
him
also
at the same
give
time.
him.
Just give him a feel. It's
Exactly.
coming
He mustn't
from-
lose his
it's-
touch
because
and his feel.
people don't understand. If somebody is coming from a broken foot, it means that he needs that period to get in touch with the game.
Yes.
So it's not only the broken foot; it's the mental strength. The mind has to get healed first.
Right.
If the mind is healed,
Yes.
even when there is still some pain in the leg,
Yes.
the player may play on the field of play and the result will be positive.
Okay.
So there are two things that a player handles when he's injured. It's the mental
And the physical.
injury and
Yeah.
then the real physical injury.
Good evening.
Hello, guys.
Doing okay?
But the wali team mo toka mo botoka.
Okay, team. No but ring me out.
Na ino go bolela ka game ya ke le buise bana ba Limpopo ba tsheme ba gone o nna Nedbank Cup.
Eh.
Ya ke first time ke tsena ka mo ke rata show ya lena. Sa bobedi,
Eh.
I want to talk about the game between Pitso and Sundowns
Eh.
and the pressure.
No, for
Very
sure.
Come Saturday, we'll end with tears for Pitso. But me, I'm a Pirates fan. I'm not a Sundowns fan.
Are you a Pirates
on
fan?
Saturday,
So Pirates
again?
on
on Saturday, we'll end with tears and on Saturday. Pitso is going to cry. The boys from Mamelodi, they're going to beat Pitso Mosimane. That's what I know. Sundowns is on fire. You can see the team, they play well. Salulile scoring goals is good for Sundowns. Yeah, but on Saturday, we're going to see the beautiful game. The promise that we can't see on the TV, but we'll see on the Facebook. I like your show. I see your show every day.
I know.
O tshware bjalo, mo dula bjalo wena mogalabe. Se solo rena, batho ba Limpopo wa happy. Second cup it le Polokwane.
For
Ya
sure.
masomo ke ba roka ya bedi a tsa ke TTM. O ka lebelela Limpopo ka football mogalabe ya hola. Itlo ba e golo itlo ba le team ke dingata tse o feta team tsa mo Premier League.
I know. I golege. Thank you, Dad.
Thank you, Dad.
Over sharp.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ramkushisha.
Ramkushisha. There we go. Just yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes we take it for granted just how much these things mean for certain regions and for people from those regions who for a long time go unseen because the focus is on, you know, the Joburg and PTA teams and maybe now the KZN ones. But, you know, it's nice to have this thing where you're forced to pay attention to another team for no other reasons. First, it was the bad reasons beginning of the season. Now it's for the business that they handle on the pitch.
Look, it was Limpopo versus Eastern Cape in the final, played in the Free State. I mean, it's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
There's no KZN, Gauteng team involved or Western Cape team involved because when you talk about the urban areas and centers of African football,
Sure.
in fact, South African football, you talk about Gauteng, KZN, and Western Cape. More so because of also the commercial side of the game. If you look at these provinces that I'm mentioning. So when you have Limpopo, Eastern Cape in the final, played in the Free State, it says something about, and also for the game as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
But we don't, that's why it's not a good sight to see those teams. If you
At
look
the
at the bottom three now,
for sure.
coming from, because
For sure.
if
One region can be wiped
exactly.
out.
Yeah.
For instance, if Chippa gets out, there's no team in the Eastern Cape.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's not a good thing.
No, for
you know,
sure.
so that's the point. But I think another point that is making of a Pitso, you know.
Well, yes. I mean, this is a big one. I mean, the league is moving stuff around for CAF Champions League teams, you know. So let's dig into that because that's quite a subplot there.
Look, And that's why I want to knock off early today because there's a big game in Cairo.
In Cairo.
There's a big game in Cairo this evening.
Right.
It's a Patrice Cateron versus Pitso Mosimane part 2 this season.
Right.
He's already won part 1, Pitso, a few
Okay.
weeks ago.
Yes.
And it was good to see. I watched Sundowns. In fact, Al Ahly's game against Al Ittihad. And it was good to see them returning to winning ways. Al Ahly, they've not had it easy in recent weeks, and I think for me the score 2-1 is not really a true reflection of the game.
Okay.
They should have finished that game with a clean sheet. They applied themselves much better compared to previous matches because Pitso has been struggling through injuries, especially to some key players.
Right.
And also another problem, once a team has achieved this much, if you look at the time when he arrived,
Motivation becomes difficult.
it
Motivation
is.
becomes very difficult.
It is.
Yeah.
So I'm really, but this week, outside this Cairo derby, obviously I want to see Pitso doing well.
Yes.
But I'm sorry, this week I go with the South African team.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
Of course. We all do.
I go with the South African team for one
Yeah.
simple reason. I don't think there's been a better season for Sundowns to emulate their performance of 2016 in the CAF Champions League than this season.
Like now.
Right.
I just feel that the way they breezed through in the group stages, it's for me almost going unbeaten in the group stages until they lost to CRB when they used the second string team in the last game. There's something in me that tells me this is Sundowns' title to lose.
For sure.
But they're up against a Pitso Mosimane.
Yeah.
Technician.
No, for sure.
They're
But this is great. This is a beautiful story. When I don't think anyone foresaw the teacher up against his students,
Yes.
in this kind of encounter.
Mind
It's
you,
huge.
he's signed almost all the players because he was part of the collective in the current squad that he has. But equally, he's created a monster even with that technical team.
Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So they know him as
It's
well.
Dr. Frankenstein.
But he
versus
also knows them.
Frankenstein. Yes,
I was
for
talking
sure.
to a friend in Cairo who says, you know what, there's one thing, yes, our team is struggling in Cairo, but there's one thing we know, that Pitso always come through when it's big games.
When it's big games, he delivers.
One thing I'm confident we can talk about the tactical prowess of all the coaches. But there's something that's going to be very mental, and the game is going to be won psychologically.
Right.
And you're having a full squad of Sundowns
Yes.
that has been mentored by Pitso Mosimane. And then you've got this team of Alhly that has been solid together, that Pitso has just joined.
Sure.
Now, the psychological impact of Pitso Mosimane being on the opposite side versus the players that he mentored and groomed and shared that success in that dressing room may be the demerit to Sundowns. Right from the technical team, you're gonna have all these tweets coming from Mr. Lulani and everything like that. That's gonna be very crucial at this moment in time. I believe in the team of Al Ahly is gonna test the defensive approach of Sundowns. And that is key. Once a team is attacking Sundowns, it means they reduce their ability to attack.
Right.
So how they are going to reciprocate on that is very interesting, because Al Ahly can always manufacture those passes to score the goals. Will Sundowns on the back foot transform that defending into that quick attack to find the goals? That would be the interesting part of it.
Interesting question. Hold on. We got to go to the calls. What about Spanish time? Good evening.
Good evening, Governor. How are you?
I'm good, and you, sir?
I'm all good, man. Talking to Naturena from Joburg.
Ntaganipo from Joburg. What's on your mind, my brother?
Few things actually on my mind. Good evening to the gentlemen there. I don't know, man. For me, it's kind of miraculous because a part of me wants to, rise up behind my team, Kaizer Chiefs, in the CAF Champions League. But I'm getting the internal troubles we have, the planned protest, the morale, the morale in the camp, And I mean, on paper, on paper, obviously, like when I'm looking at the paper, like we have no chance going through. But at heart, man, you know, I want my team to go through. But looking at how we play, you know, there's luck here and there. You need luck in football, man.
For
there's
sure.
luck here and there. I don't know.
So tell me something. I mean, as far as the protest is concerned, are you behind it? Do you believe it should be happening?
You know, I actually tried to call when you guys were talking about this. When I think there was only 2 gentlemen in the Great Itafia. And,
yes, it was on Saturday night. Yes.
Yeah. They were talking about the whole protest. So for me, it's I don't know, man. So the current Chiefs problems are a knock-on effect from years back. They didn't start this year or last year.
Sure.
There are knock-on effects from years back, and they start from the management down to the team.
Right.
So they've been manifesting for years and years, and now they're just crumbling down.
Right.
So what we have is this big, huge institution which is good on the financial and the marketing.
On the marketing, it's a good machine as corporate.
It's a well-oiled machine, you know. But then again, now when it comes to on the football list, I understand that it's a cycle. Teams go through this patch, but if you look at what Chiefs going through right now, it would be something which you can pinpoint to mismanagement of certain things, how a team is run. You know, you can't say teams go, because it's much like what Liverpool is going through. You can be like, okay, you know what, I can give Klopp some leeway. He's got a lead in the Champions League. I can give him leeway.
Sure.
You know.
So you're saying that Gavin hasn't earned that yet?
But again, with Gavin, he has a huge shield of these are not my players.
What's Gavin doing at your house? Gavin, is that you? But don't you think that's fair? I mean, you know, obviously people will talk and will say, okay, cool, he knew what he was getting himself into. We've spoken about it now, how Benny might be an even better coach with the players that he gets. Do you not think that Gavin deserves the same opportunity?
To be honest with you, everything needs context, right? So unfortunately, we find ourselves in a situation where if you are going to coach, I'm a coach. Unfortunately, we know the so-called pressure, and I say this in inverted commas, the pressure that comes with coaching KG. So what you are afforded in a team like Amazulu, you won't be afforded in a team like KG, which is patience. You know, with Amazulu, you can get away with maybe, let's say, being on number 10. Just giving a random example, no disrespect to Amazulu, but with Kaizer Chiefs, if you're on number 10, because of the precedent that has been set for the so-called big team in inverted commas, you are not allowed there. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter how much of a great coach you are. You know,
fair enough. But I think there are mitigating circumstances at this point in time. But I don't know. I don't know if a protest ahead of a big game is wise. I don't know. What does the panel think?
Well, look, when fans protested, but it was around the issue of the Super League in Europe, of Chelsea. And then I saw many United fans protesting. And now you must understand that we're an Anglophone country. You know, we get influenced by things. If you check, even with our league, almost the whole idea of the rebranding of the PSL in '96, stems from
the EPL.
The EPL,
right?
You understand? I could see this coming, and I was like, I remember saying this to a friend. I was like, "Yo, the way they are doing there, watch one team." And I think it's Chiefs fans who can adopt this. Because, like Etlana was saying, you know, this thing had been boiling for some time, you know, and there's a boiling point now with Chiefs fans,
right?
And I think part of it was also influenced by what was happening. You know, because they could see, and that's why you could see how organized even in the manner in which they're organizing this. The fact that even on Wednesday they are meeting the club. The club, in fact, even as soon as they got this through the JMPD, the club accepted it.
Of course,
you know, because for me, I think that there is no other club in the PSL that has always been. He has been there. That has always been taking their fans first in terms of listening to them. Right. That's why even though they're making it a regular habit of it now, when they underperform, they write statements, they apologize.
Right, like their fans almost like shareholders. It's like, you know, they treat them as such. Yeah,
you know, because Chiefs has always had this with the fans. You know, but this time, and also I was watching Pirates last week, and for some spell, I think about 5 minutes, the brand of football they're playing, and you watch Sundowns and like, hey, when last did you see Chiefs playing free-flowing football like this?
Yeah.
It's always doof, 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 doof. Even the last time they won 2 league guys, doof, 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 doof. And if you go back to the Kaizer Chiefs, but if you go there to the Kaizer Chiefs,
by any chance, by any chance, because that's how the cattle moves in the crowd.
If you go back to the Kaizer Chiefs of Ted Dimitri, maybe also the Chiefs of VV, the brand of football that they were playing at the time.
Total football.
Total football.
Right. Right.
But Chiefs fans have had to stomach this for a very long time. I've got a piece tomorrow on Itiski Times. And I think it talks exactly to what the fans are talking about this week.
Right.
But my piece focuses on the 5 coaching changes at Kaizer Chiefs in a space of 3 years.
Yes.
Yes. And how the management and the board at Chiefs are entirely to blame for the mess that the club is finding itself in.
Right. Right.
And I think it ties in with everything that's happening now. Because I think it's all there for everyone to see that Gavin is a goner at Chiefs. And this is the second coach at Kaizer Chiefs in a space of these 3 years that would have not had a proper preseason with the club. It would also mean that 4 of the past 5 coaches at Chiefs have not finished their contracts. It's unheard of at Kaizer Chiefs.
So are you saying that his position is untenable?
Gavin? I think it's there for everyone to see. I think it's there for everyone to see. But my article tomorrow sheds more light on that.
Okay. No, for sure.
Looking forward to that.
I mean, let's just wrap up on Sundowns quickly because 7 points restored at the top, Tim. Back in the ascendancy, it was literally at the reinsertion of Peter Shalulila back into things. You got Kermit Erasmus knocking on the door for the front line. I mean, they're pretty much on the home straight now.
Look, they have healthy competition in the squad. If you look at the players that came in, Kennedy saved a penalty. You have got Mudao, Promise, Maboni. These are players that are being given an opportunity and they are reciprocating. They are giving the technical team very difficult, decisions to make. So they're gonna
good decisions.
At that moment in time, the coach spoke about the process, not entirely the result. They are talking about the process. So there's a standard they have set for themselves. There is a way they want to play the game. There is a way they want to get the 3 points. It's not a matter of getting the 3 points. They have passed that level. Sundowns is at a level of how they get the 3 points at this moment in time.
Right.
Now that has gone well into the squad. The players want to play better. Even after a game, they have won the game. You could see some, their emotional, their physical discussions among themselves. They are quite questioning. They should have done better.
Right.
Now that's a team that has been together, and there's a way they want to grow. And I think they're now thinking of setting records. And now, if you look at Sundowns playing now, I see a team preparing for the game against Alhly. So they are using these league games as preparation for the main game.
Right.
You can see it through.
Yeah.
Now, you have spoken about Peter. Peter is a striker who is willing to create chances for other strikers or other players will always score goals. Because he gets out of those positions that the defender think he should be in to create spaces for others. When he returns a free player, unmarked. And that is Peter. Now you've got the likes of Matupa who is coming in. He's a giant. So you've got 2 big boys that you have to deal with. One is willing to run off the shoulder of the defenders. One is holding on the ball. They're going to be difficult. Then you have got the likes of Sorino. The more he gets 1-2 touches, it means he sucks in the defenders. And then when he loses the balls, there's a huge gap for the defenders to mark. So backlines are going to struggle how to defend against Sundowns. Now teams have to define means of how they can attack Sundowns. The more you give them the ball, the more they're going to make you tired. Against Sundowns, be prepared to mark. Prepare for it. If you pass that test, you're going to hurt Sundowns.
Yeah. Also, I think on my point, I see a Sundowns that wants to stamp their authority on the league. They are keen to winning everything that is on the table. I think they're going for the 4th win now. Their table, they're going to defend it for the 4th time, right? So in that, I see a Sundowns that is well motivated, a team that has chemistry, a team that had the fighting spirit that you saw against TX Galaxy, and we cannot falter them as they prepare for Alhly. It's going to be one of a massive game. It's going to be counter press after counter press after counter press. And the only best thing that I know that Sundowns is going to bring to the table is that the way they're going to be playing in between the lines. Be playing between the lines, meaning when you found your Shaolili, your Sorinos dropping into the middle, trying to receive the ball for the turnovers. Yes, we know Al-Ahly is the one that's going to apply high pressure because they want to apply the counter press. By doing so, they need to be aware in the speed that Sundowns have. And also the same, if Sundowns is going to sit deep, Al-Ahly has got the answer to open that back line. By how? They're going to use the width play. They want to try play combination passes and overload on the side. Yes, Pitso is a believer of a structure in the middle. You reinforce the middle and make sure that they don't play the passage of football in the middle. So now what does it say? Morena is the one that's going to be influential in Maboy. Looking at him, Kulisi trying to be on the battle with those players in the middle, it's going to be very important for them to preserve the ball and try to always unlock the sides. If one side is blocked, move to the next zone. If the other side is blocked, go to the next zone. Then that's how you're going to find your Shaoliles to come into the party. Because I'm sure right now, Pitso has an answer for Shaolile, how he's going to mark him, because it's the player that he wanted in his team.
Now do the same for Chiefs.
I think
okay,
I think it's going to be a tactical masterclass.
Yes, for sure.
That game. You know, I think it's going to be a tactical masterclass, but I don't want to dwell much on it. Because your question, you were asking on the run-in.
Yes.
On Sundowns wrapping up.
Yes, in terms of the momentum, the gap they've grown, only 4 rounds to go. It looks like, you know, as far as what Tim was saying, they've got the machinery to see this one through and then focus on.
I think for me, and this is a question that we asked Coach Roland recently in one of the pressers, to say, is he not concerned that the slump that they had came at a time when there was a break in the Champions League. So the ideal way was to wrap up the season. Still the break. So when you come back, you are through. And also because, but also the other question was, maybe are you comfortable because you just have to go through the groups? In fact, the quarterfinal and the semi-final is only coming back in June, when the season is over. You know, I think for me, what should be a serious concern to other clubs is to see Sundowns. I know how they like to call it on the timeline, turning this into a farmers' league. You know, turning this into a farmers' league like it does. Because now we know of the Sundowns that would chase, because they are busy on the continent, that would chase a Chiefs or a Pirates or even a Bidvest. You know, but this is a Sundowns that has been on the same spot from the beginning of the season. Vroom, you know, with all the challenges that they've had, but there's still no one matching their standards. And I know that people will talk about Sundowns having this best squad, but this is where we must appreciate the best processes. You know,
because you need that with the good players. You need the good processes.
The best processes that Sundowns has got on the footballing side. I know that Sundowns is not 100% administratively one of the greatest in the league, but when it comes to technical matters, you know, they've got all these best processes, which for me, this is where they are also beating the other teams. He talks about periodization. He talks about all these processes, scouting, you know, how they use their players, you know. So these things, you don't leave them behind. You know, you don't leave them behind. You know, I was interviewing Lebogang Mabue this past weekend. He talks about when it comes to physios, when it comes to analysts, biokineticists, all these things, he counts 2, 3, 4. You know, there's clubs that don't even have one of those. You understand? abenze ngayeza ngesixhosa. You know, this is not a magic. Ayingomlingo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
Sure.
the fact
Yes.
that, and the
You have
fact
to put
that
in the work.
and you know the fact that all players can discuss the process they go through to deliver the results.
Exactly.
That shows that it's not about the players themselves,
sure.
their skill. They know that their skill, yes, contributes to success, but it's not everything.
Right.
And that cultivates that seriousness always to be focused and be respectful of your
Right.
teammate and the rest of the staff on the team.
Because it's such a big operation on go. We're going to on the line joining us. Who is speaking to?
Hi, guys.
Hey, how are you?
Very much.
Hi.
I'm good, guys. I'm good.
Good.
Thank you, guys. I like the show, but I miss Greg a lot. On Saturday, I missed Kelvin, but then it looks like all of you guys are agreeing with each other, which means Greg is missing. Because no, Greg would have just argued with you guys.
He would have been the cat amongst the pigeons, wouldn't he? He was.
Yeah, hey, you know, on the Alhly announcement, I feel like it's a must win for Pitso, because in a way, something tells me that if you lose this, if you should be knocked off the competition, I feel like they're going to fight him, because in a way, I feel like besides Al-Ahly challenging for the league, but during these years, the reason why Al-Ahly exists, it's because of the CAF Champions League. You see, I feel like without the CAF Champions League, Al-Ahly are nothing, Zamalek are nothing as well. You see, the same goes with things like Esperance. Without the CAF Champions League, you know, basically they're nothing. You see, never mind challenging for domestic honors. But CAF Champions League, it's the most important thing. So I feel like if in this case, if Pitso lose to Sundowns in a way, I feel like they're going to second morning or that, because where you also look at another thing also, the club legends of Al-Ahly, they always seem to disagree or clash with Pitso, even if Pitso is doing well, but they always tend to disagree on what Pitso is doing. They don't like his team selection. They don't like how he plays. You know, Pitso is always criticized, even though I can see that, okay, the squad is a bit depleted. Pitso's squad is dealing with a lot of injuries. Does not have his key players, you see. So that's why I feel like in this case, it's do or die for Pitso. He has to win.
Okay.
You see, and given the fact that he knows actually how Sundowns plays, because in a way, he is more like the Johan Cruyff of Sundowns, whereby he was the author of the current philosophy that Sundowns is. Even though Mamelodi and Ryan Mokwena played a significant role in making the philosophy box, where they now apply more of the counter-pressing approach. But I feel like since Pitso is like the Johan Cruyff in a way, even Al-Ahly, they've appointed players. They're also starting to play, you know, like that kind of philosophy. So I think in a way, you don't know how to counter Sundowns.
Right, of course.
And then also on the issue of Kaizer Chiefs, I don't know. I'm a Chiefs supporter. I'm a Chiefs supporter. But hey, you know,
Have some faith. Have some
at the
faith.
same time, I think we all wanted to face them, because if we faced either Esperance or Sundowns, then obviously we're going to be out. But Simba, I think we can beat Simba.
Yeah.
I have a problem with that. I have a problem.
With what?
I have a problem.
Which part?
Simba beat Al-Ahly
That-
and they topped their group. And for me, they've been one of the most informed teams
Yeah.
in the CAF Champions League
Yeah.
this season.
So
You know,
knowing that, you still believe Chiefs?
and they're not a bad team on the road
No, for
either.
sure. For sure.
No, let me tell you, Simba is.
Sorry, man. Sorry, I'm just struggling to bear with me if I just took process.
Sorry,
I don't know, maybe it's my phone or something. But that's all I'm saying. I just hope as well the Chiefs. I feel like they will be able to beat Simba. It shouldn't be much of a train smash. In a way, I think Simba are beatable. You see.
No, okay.
Just that the issue now. What I've noticed was Kaizer Chiefs. As much as Chiefs is losing a lot of games.
Okay,
but
cool.
then.
The only,
Thank you, brother. We're gonna go to another caller, Raymond. Tim, I'll let you have the word. Yeah, Raymond is on the line. Thank you for holding, brother. Raymond, what's on your mind? Yes. Oh, thank you. The one who was on. Ah, you said on the line next. Hello? Hi, have we got someone there?
You know, I feel that you know, African football, and I'm taking this from even the reactions to the appointment of Bruce. We need to educate our people.
Right.
They must watch. Ne? It's not just about the names, and Simba have been one of the most informed teams. In this seasons. In fact, together with Sundowns, for me.
Not only this season.
Exactly. You understand?
Been doing it.
So I'm really laughing at yeah, but I also don't feel that it's just the issue of Nyanza. Our people don't follow African football.
Sure.
The
due diligence of watching these teams perform.
Yes. So now I feel that Siyamba ngamagama. No, it's Al-Ali, no, it's Esperance. Because Simba.
And I called it for a win.
And you will see Simba, they'll come here and play good football.
You're talking about Simba. It's a team that has grown in stature. This is a team that has beat Alhly, the defending champions. They played in the club, FIFA Club Championship. They have got pedigree. They have got good players.
Yeah.
Now, the only way Kaizer Chiefs is going to compete with Simba is when they bring their attitude to be positive.
Simple.
Let's not talk about football and everything like that. We're going to have the character of the Kaizer Chiefs team that can
Winning
try to outright Simba.
Yes.
If they are matched by effort, I would say forget. But if Chiefs brings their effort
more than
100%, they stand a chance, because you have got players that can try. Southern region has got players that are fast and nippy, on the field of play. They're not easily marked. Now, if a team is transformed to use that advantage, Pitso used that against Sundowns. They are using that. The pace, the nippiness. Southern region is different. Now, when you go to the rest, for example, you go to East Africa, we are big able guys and everything like that.
Yeah.
Effort is, we don't debate with effort and everything like that. We play like that. So if you're able to turn us and make the run, you get an advantage. Should Chiefs bring that against Simba, they stand a chance. But if there is that entitlement mentality that we are Chiefs, you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked.
Yeah, and the stronger point of Simba is that their players have been together for some time now. You
can't buy that.
No,
There's
exactly.
that cohesion.
Exactly. And for me, I went to watch the derby. Pity this past weekend, the Cairo derby didn't happen. But one thing I could see, Simba was better than Yanga in the application of their tactics on the field.
Right.
Because you could see the understanding of these guys.
Right.
And I remember even when they went to Al-Ali now, you couldn't tell that Simba was the away team. The way they were so free. And we must also understand that now to play at home and away is different because there are no crowds.
Yes.
Exactly. So that's why it becomes easier to also beat a team on the road.
And South Africa, I can assure, is not away.
Exactly.
When it comes to the fields, the hotels, garden court, and everything like
holiday,
the turf.
It's gonna be home.
The pitch at FNB is the kind of a pitch that Simba players are relishing to play.
For sure, just because it's gonna allow them to play.